Hi, guys. Welcome to some more Real Talk Dog Talk. I'm Tori.
And I'm Barb.
For those of you who haven't joined us before, if you have any questions or comments, email us at realtalkdogtalk@yahoo.com.
And if you are a regular listener and or emailer, we love hearing from you. Keep those emails coming in. Gives us some great ideas for our episodes.
Yes.
So we have to apologize first off.
We do. Yeah.
We were at Primo Corso Kennels in preparation mode.
Some stuff had to get done. It now. Okay.
Yeah. We were on kind of a time crunch. We had a little addition out there.
A little bit earlier than we were planning, but
yeah, by about 3 days.
Yes.
Earlier than we thought.
Yeah. So
there are some Primo Corso babies.
They're super cute already.
They are adorable, and it is always exciting. This particular time we're doing a little bit extra whelping preparations, so we just kind of, I guess, glitched out on the podcast.
We did. We were trying something a little bit different with the whelping room that we have, so
it did not work.
It did not. So, we worked real hard for that.
Live and learn.
Yes.
Well, actually, we were not going to use an actual whelping containment situation. A lot of times we use pools, or they have that plastic one that is round you can get at Walmart, and then they have one that is kind of a
vinyl almost.
Kind of a vinyl. It's square. I really like it because blankets fit in it nicely, but me being a silly person,
great idea, let me just say,
thought that since they love the little kennel underneath the stairs, why don't we just kind of extend it out and let her have her babies in this little cubby area under the stairs.
Yeah.
And we put down flooring, painted, and she didn't like it.
No. She's like, you know what? That's great, but no.
We had a heat lamp in there and everything, and she had them in the middle of the room.
Yeah, so feel real good about that.
Money spent, time spent, and she said no.
She hates it. So I'm going to have to sleep in there now.
Yeah. Tori's bringing the pool out.
Yeah.
We're going backwards on that one.
Yeah. Worth a shot, I guess. It looks nice.
It looks nice. It's clean. It's, we'll
great.
Put a bed back in there for naps, I
guess.
But anyhow, so that was our week, and we apologize for not keeping up on our episodes, but I believe we're on track again here.
Yes, we are working on time management. I will say though, puppies, you can't always plan exactly when they're coming. So,
True.
That's a different thing. But, and one other thing, actually, I wanted to mention as well.
Okay.
We have been looking a little bit closer at our labels.
Yes.
On our dog food and treats since we did our episode on that. And we were actually looking at the type of food that we feed the breeding dogs. And it is a higher end food.
Yes.
And we were a little impressed with some of the information we found on that label.
Well, and unimpressed.
Unimpressed. It was... So just a really good reminder, always make sure you're checking your labels, reading the fine print. Get your glasses out, people, okay?
Yeah. Well, one thing, I think wordage is so big. I mean, the more we do these episodes and we're reading on products and nutritional items, treats,
really anything pet related.
Really anything. It's one word that we found on the bag was that they basically strive to meet the AAFCO's standards,
Yes.
but they didn't say they meet it.
No, and then you got to read further because then it said, what was that? What did it say?
It said, I hesitate to say this, but it says that it is not actually accepted by the AAFCO.
That's right.
So at one point it's saying that is their goal, that they're, trying to.
Yeah. And then way down at the bottom, way far away, it says, no, sorry.
Yeah.
They don't like us. So,
if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I'd be a wealthy woman.
Same, yeah.
So, which that kind of bummed me out because we did pay more for that dog food, and in a way, I'm not that worried about it because we do add quite a bit of stuff to their kibble.
They get supplements.
They get eggs. I hate the price of eggs, but they get eggs in their food.
Yes.
I'm going to have to mortgage the house to buy eggs this year.
That's right.
I'm going to get more chickens. I am going to do that.
Yeah.
But they get eggs with the food, and then, Tori, you make those really healthy treats.
Yes.
So there's things that we put along with it that I feel keep our animals in really good shape. Now, our puppy food is a different brand.
Yes.
So I feel like that's probably a good choice for our puppies as well. So all we're saying is,
just make sure you're reading those labels.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah, and watch how they're wording things.
And, even things, we did the episode on e-collars, the wordage for even that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's everything. You really have to, I don't know.
Pay attention to what they're actually saying.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was a little alarmed by, and again, we do supplement with other foods.
Yeah.
But I think you have to watch the weight on the dog foods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one of the bags I noticed said dogs up to 70 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So nutritionally, it's good as long as you're not feeding a 100-pound dog or a 150-pound dog.
Right.
Which Primo Corso Kennels is about, Mastiff breed dogs. So
they're almost, even the females are over 100.
Yeah, they're just over 100. So watch the weight, see if it applies to your, even if it's an all life cycle, you want to make sure it's the right, I guess you'd say weight that accommodates the size of dog.
Yeah. Because those, for the bigger dogs, they do have extra supplements that help with joints and all of that because they need more of that.
Yes.
With their large build.
Yeah. Let's see. So where are we going with this? Now let's get on to our real topic here.
We've got an actual topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough of our little
That's right.
chit chat.
Yeah.
But we have gotten, I think Primo Corso Kennels is really, it's so hard to deal with the scammer situation.
And it's tough from both sides. Who do you get a dog from? Are they okay as breeders? You want to make sure your dogs are going to good homes and,
Yep. And on both ends of it, people lie.
They do.
All the time. Mm-hmm. It's not uncommon to come across that. I think it's important for people to understand why breeders do the things they do.
Yes. There's a reason. We're not just nosy.
A legitimate breeder typically has a contract, a purchase agreement for a puppy. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things that I hear people complaining about is all they wanted was a $500 deposit. All they wanted was a $300 deposit. All they said is, they want a deposit. They wouldn't even answer questions. Why do breeders ask for a deposit?
It's a big deal. They want, you're selling something.
Right.
So you want to make that sale. Do you want the dog?
Yes. And I think there's looking for people who are committed to the purchase.
Right. If you're going to give up $500, you're probably going to follow through with the rest of the sale, the puppy.
Well, it is a dog-eat-dog business, actually. And what will happen is you have impulse buyers who say, yes, reserve me a dog. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have to give any money, 3 months later, they forgot they even said it.
Right.
And there you are with a puppy that you don't need.
Yeah.
And, it's not realistic for any breeder to just keep any dog that doesn't sell. They'd have hundreds and hundreds of dogs.
Oh, yeah. So
the purpose of a deposit is to find committed buyers. And with Primo Corso Kennels, they will defer if you have, family issues that come up or financial issues, or you happen to be moving unexpectedly. Maybe you still want a dog, but you just can't do it right now. Primo Corso Kennels will defer a deposit one time.
You just need to communicate the situation.
Right. And so if you've made that deposit, something comes up, you can call and talk to someone at the kennels and go over what's happening. If it happens a second time, then you forfeit that deposit, because the business cannot you continue to reserve puppies that aren't going to go to a home.
But it's the same thing. It'll end up with 100 dogs, and you just can't. No one's trying to fill up shelters.
No.
So that's kind of part of it is.
Right.
So.
Another thing that is, and most of them are non-refundable. That's because people need to be serious about the purchase.
Yes.
So are you saying you're going to buy the dog? Yes or no? If you're just going to ask for your money back, that's just like a shuffling money all the time for the breeders. Mm-hmm. They want to get the deposit, make sure that this is for sure sale. And the only time Primo Corso Kennels will refund deposits is if there is a failed pairing.
Oh, yes.
Or if the puppies don't thrive. Then they have the choice of getting the $500 back, which is what the deposit is for that particular kennel. Or they can say, you know what, hold on to that $500, I'll take one out of the next litter.
Yeah.
So again, it can be deferred if the buyer chooses at that point.
And there's definitely every breeder is different, so good. Yes. You need to make sure you're reading. I think some people they look at the contract and they just sign, and
yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
You absolutely should not. It's an actual contract. That's a legally binding contract.
Yes.
When you're going into that, $500 might seem like a lot for committing to a dog, but it's. You have to be able to make that commitment, especially with a dog like a King Corso. Well,
and I think a lot of the breeders apply that $500 towards the purchase price. So
right.
If you're buying $1,000 dog, it'd be $500 on the balance. Mm-hmm. It's just I think that's real common that they apply it to the purchase price.
And with that too. I think some people, they look at it, well, $2,000, that's a lot of money. But I think most breeders will work with you on the payments, right? I mean, you can possibly make some payments. I know.
Prior to the taking possession of the puppy?
Correct. Yes. Primo Corso Kennels has done that in the past, I believe.
Well, for up to the taking of the puppy, if they want to pay, $500 deposit and say every paycheck they're going to send you $500 more, mm-hmm. That's acceptable, but certainly not after the puppy's gone, because they won't see the money. It just isn't going to happen.
They can take off and mm-hmm. You'll never see. Yeah. They can put down an address, and which I know people have kind of balked at giving their own personal information out as well, and I guess I don't, if you're going to pay that much money for a dog and you're going to give a non-refundable deposit, I think, giving your address is probably shouldn't be as big of a concern as some people kind of make it.
And I think that's another thing to bring up, why, and you can't really speak for all breeders, but a lot of breeders really take a lot of pride in placing the dog. And the only way I know to put the dog into responsible homes is to ask a lot of questions.
Right.
And it seems intrusive. I know there's people who are, they'll be like, why do you gotta know that? How do you, I don't have a vet yet. And, they just get all flustered and upset over the series of questions. But I have not seen, just looking on the internet at different breeders' websites, anybody who doesn't have some sort of application process.
Right.
So they're going to ask questions about, how many animals are in your home? Do you have small children? Do you have, teen children? Are you home? Are you available to potty this puppy, train this puppy?
Do you live in town, out of town? Do you have fenced in yard?
Yeah.
So many things that you want to, and I think sometimes there's things that people who are buying the dogs don't even think of.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's true too. So, I just in talking to people about the puppies at Primo Corso Kennels, I have had people say, why do you need to know that?
Mm-hmm.
And we try to get to know the people for another reason, and that is to place the puppy with the right family.
Puppies have huge personalities from the beginning. So, one dog that might be more calm, might go better with one family. And
yeah, well, and I always think of, like with small children, I would think in terms of a puppy that is a little calmer, not so rambunctious.
Yeah.
If they have many animals, I'm going to look at how a puppy might interact with the other puppies in the litter.
Right.
Is it social? Is it leave me alone?
Mm-hmm.
If, I think of there was a fella I used to know of that would take, I think he had Australian Shepherds, if I remember right.
Okay.
And I'd always see him down by the river throwing his Frisbee around for them.
Oh.
So, I always think of something like that. If it's a person that is going to be real active with their dog, you want one with a little bit of spunk.
Yeah.
That's why we ask the question, so that we can make it a better fit. And breeders are always striving to make a successful placement.
The last thing you want is them deciding this isn't going to work, or I don't want it anymore, or the frustration level is just,
And even if it's like a first-time buyer, you might think in terms of, is this dog easy to deal with or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
When there's puppies out at my house, one thing I do to kind of get an idea of what the focus is of the puppy, and actually you have one.
Yes.
That, are they more interested in people or their food? Are they more interested in their litter mates or a person?
Right.
And those are the dogs that really focus on bonding with their owners.
Yes.
And so, I might put that type of dog with someone that maybe has a special need.
Yeah.
Or a family that has small children, that the puppy might want to bond more with the family. But there's always reasons that the people who are breeding dogs, just really doesn't matter what breed they are. But this is why they ask questions, to make a really good placement so it's a permanent situation. Another thing that is important to know is that when breeders have the dogs available at 8 weeks, you have those 2 months to prepare to have that dog in your house.
Right, yeah.
So they don't really want phone calls saying, hey, can you keep it an extra week?
Mm-hmm.
Or we're not quite ready. Could I pick it up when it's 12 weeks old? Or questions like, hey, if I leave it an extra couple weeks, could you start the potty training?
Right.
These are not realistic things. So a lot of breeders will have an age that you have to take the puppy by.
Right. Unless there's special circumstances and things like that. And also, that's not saying that all questions are bad. there are questions, feel free, ask them what you might need, different things like that. But, you got that 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So choose your questions wisely.
And get prepared.
Yes.
Do some research.
Exactly.
Do some looking on, hey, what do I need for this puppy? Or, and if you have built a really strong rapport with the breeder you're dealing with, you can call them and talk to them about, if you're unsure of what you're going to need. Or a lot of breeders will send a little care package with the puppy with, a scented blanket for that the mom has been laying on.
Yeah.
Or some familiar toys, little collar and leash. So they'll try to send some things along that help with the transition of going from where they were born to where they're going to live.
And that'll definitely help too. One thing too, while you're waiting in that 2 months, if you don't have a vet, find one. This is a good time to find one.
Get referrals from friends, neighbors.
That's right. Find someone that you feel comfortable with. You can call, I'm sure, and talk to the vet or, something like that and see if that's going to be the right fit for you and your dog. If you have one already, then that's great, but some people don't.
One thing I look at, because, I'm a couch potato, I guess. I look at, it's a group, it's called Bad Scammers.
Oh, something like that.
It's bad breeders, scammers.
Yeah,
something. It's a group that I watch it and I read through a lot of their posts, but it kind of concerns me. I understand sharing information back and forth, so hey, don't send a deposit to these people because they're going to rip you off. I sent one, never got a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but some of the things that they look for on that group as far as red flags for breeders is not 100% accurate.
Well, that is true, and it's frustrating seeing that stuff because it's totally nobody wants to get ripped off.
No.
But at the same time, you're making it hard for breeders saying certain things are wrong. And you kind of have to look at it when you're reading somebody complaining. You have to understand that you may not be getting the full story.
Well, and some of the red flags, for example, are if the breeder does not let you come and look at their facility, if they do not let you interact with the parents, if they do not let you see the puppy before you get it. Now, I do see there, how that can be a little unsettling, but Primo Corso Kennels has 2 locations. We have one where people can come and see their puppy before it's ready to go home. And then we have one that has the kennel building and the reason that is because we cannot have our puppies coming in contact with anybody who has germs or disease in their home if they aren't vaccinating current animals, if they've been, who knows, at a shelter or something where they could have bring germs onto your breeding facility.
It's a huge health risk
and it could shut down your breeding program.
Right.
And in my opinion, if there's a risk of bringing disease onto your breeding area, that is absolutely not okay. And that's why there's 2 locations for Primo where people can see the puppy. And that's after 6 weeks, because up to 6 weeks, they are running on their mother's milk and they are not vaccinated. So they're susceptible to disease at, up to 6 weeks old.
And you can't expect a breeder to risk all of their dogs just because you want to see. That's not, nobody's going to do that. And
right.
It, again, it can be a little off-putting hearing that you can't see it and all that. But, that's part of the reason that we have, websites and Facebook and all of that, because you guys can see pictures of that type of thing from there. You see what you need to, and you have to trust that the breeder is. That's what communication is for.
To some degree, yeah. Well, and that's, when people get offended because we ask questions, that's their opportunity to ask the breeder questions.
Exactly.
Get to know your breeder and
Right.
get comfortable with them. Look at the reviews, see what people are saying about them.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. It's not just about a breeder asking you 18 billion questions. You go ahead and ask them 18 billion questions. Ask the questions that make you comfortable with what they are doing. And don't just assume because they don't want you on the breeding area property that they are hiding something or...
If they're not going to let you, ask them why. They could probably give you a reason.
Right.
Right. And it's probably a legitimate one. So ask that question. Mm-hmm. If they don't have an answer for you, there may be something to be a little more cautious of, but they're going to have an answer.
Well, and that's what Real Talk Dog Talk is about.
Right.
We're just part of the dog community.
Yep.
And everybody out there needs to know who we are as a mom and daughter and what we do, what we're about. And this validates who we are and our ethics as far as dog owners, dog breeders, dog...
anything.
We're not people who are gonna scam you or lie to you or anything.
We're not judgy for the most part.
Well, I'm old, so I think when you get old, you turn that way. Wow. But I think I'm in my second childhood.
It's like the ornery thing. Yeah.
That might be putting it mildly for me.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so you just have to know to be comfortable. I haven't told you this.
Oh, no.
But at 4:00 this morning, I got a text from someone buying a puppy.
Oh, yeah?
And he is just super excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we respond to those. We will take the 4 a.m. text, the calls late at night, because I don't think anybody who's getting a new puppy doesn't have just like the super excited side to them.
Oh man, I get all squealy and
So we will take those calls. We are not offended by the 4 a.m. text being excited about puppies.
Yes.
That's fine. We're happy to hear it, and we understand that. So I think when you're dealing with breeders, you need to know that it's a two-way street, getting to know them and having confidence in who you're dealing with as a breeder.
Right. Well, and just some of the things too that are pretty basic stuff that's a little bit less controversial and all of that. There's always going to be a purchase price on there. You want to have that in there.
On the contract.
On the contract, yep. It should state in there a price. Mm-hmm. If there's not, maybe that might be a red flag. I don't know. Is it?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's pretty standard for there to be a purchase price stated, but I don't know that it'd be a red flag.
Okay.
If you have a verbal agreement, I always want to have verbal contact with people.
Yeah.
Because it gives me a better feel of if they're really being straight with me or not.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm that good of a judge of character, but I do know that if you let someone talk long enough, the lies start coming out.
Yeah.
So I love to listen to people talk about how they are with dogs.
Yeah. Keep digging.
A text is a great way to, confirm and verify that you've given them a price.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in a contract is best always.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would deem that as a red flag.
After I said that, I was like, wait, maybe not. So I had to clarify before I really said that. So. Also, the payment terms are typically in there as well. That's kind of part of the non-refundable deposit, and then you can pay it off by the time you get your puppy, or, I'm sure different breeders have it set up a little differently that way too.
Some have just a full price, and some will break it down that you did a $500 or whatever the amount might be. Mm-hmm. It might have it broke down to the deposit amount and then the balance paid so that it's clear, which the more clear it is, the better, obviously. Right. So every breeder has their own method of doing that.
And that, I'm sure, can probably be adjusted if you speak with your breeder, depending on the situation and all of that. Documentation, their papers for ICCF or AKC, or both, depending on what your dog is.
Well, ICCF is specific to the Cane Corso.
Okay, yep.
So each breed might have a breed registry. AKC is the American Kennel Club, and they have multiple breeds under them, where a breed-specific registration is not always required, but some are dual registered, where they have AKC and the breed registration.
Okay.
That would, like Zeus, for example, is AKC, American Kennel Club.
Yes.
And also the ICCF, which is specific to the Cane Corso breed.
Okay. Yeah, so he's dual registered. Well, I know for Primo Corso Kennel, there is a clause in there about spay neuter.
Right.
Before, which is something that is going to be stated in a contract as well.
Right. I think not all breeders have spay-neuter agreements in their contract. Some leave that open for the purchaser to decide if they want to do that. However, there is a large handful of breeders that require you to do spay or neuter, depending on the gender. And that is in the contract. So when you sign the contract, you're saying you are going to do that.
Right.
And if you don't, you are voiding all health guarantees because you are not following through on your end of the contract.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they're not going to do what they have to do. So it's, kind of a big deal when you're doing the contract to make sure to read through, see if you agree upon it. If that's not what you want, then you need to pick a different breeder.
Exactly.
So some of the breeders are starting to hold on to the registration paperwork until they get verification through veterinary clinics directly that pet has been altered.
Right.
So, and then once they have the proof, they send off the paperwork.
And just to make sure that that's done. And that's the thing. If you read that contract and you think, I don't think I'm going to do that, don't just decide you're not going to follow the rules.
Right.
Don't do that. Just to choose a different breeder or dog, if that's the way you want to do it. I personally don't understand the whole connection between people being so attached to their dog's balls, to be honest with you, but
well, I had a guy who was talking to me about how he just didn't like to have his dogs neutered, and it just didn't seem right. And I said, well, that's an expensive set of balls.
It is, yeah, yeah.
Because you're gonna pay, I don't know, $1,000 or more to be able to keep them intact, and unless you're getting breeding rights along with that, which that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. To me, that does not, and to be very honest, when I think about my pets throughout the years, if I wanted to have a companion animal, I would have them altered.
Yes.
Because the girls are moody, crabby, nippy, blah, blah. They're just hormonally out of whack.
Yeah.
And the males are lifting legs on everything. They're not focused. If anyone around them is in heat, they're like, nothing matters but that. Yeah. And I do not, as companion animals, enjoy an intact animal.
Well, and from my opinion, my experience, my household, take them, they're gone. Okay, we got no pet balls in this house, okay?
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, they're fine.
Yep.
Okay, they're happy. They don't even know they're gone, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure.
So, I can tell ya, it's not, I don't get it. So.
And you can say you're not going to breed them, but.
Accidents happen.
Yeah. things happen, and then you have puppies that you got to be responsible for
Mm-hmm.
getting into good homes, or you're filling up the rescue shelters, different,
Yep.
facilities like that. And it's so if it is in the contract and you are not doing it, you are in violation.
Yes.
So if that's important to you, you got to pick the right breeder,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to know that they're okay with that. And it's kind of a sensitive subject for me, because I think you and I both know that there are people out there not
Yes.
having their Cane Corsos altered,
Mm-hmm.
even though they have signed the contract.
Right.
And that is upsetting to anybody who is running a breeding business, to have people totally violating an agreement.
They signed it.
Yes.
You signed that contract. You said, I will follow these rules. I will do what this contract is stating. And nah,
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it. Well, I was reading too that some breeders actually will put clauses in there that you have to pay a fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You have to pay one of them, I think, was $3,000 a fine.
Really?
Yep. So you don't want to follow the rules. Well, some of these breeders are going to make you.
Yep.
So something to keep in mind too. Another really good reason to read what you're signing, because you might have yourself in a big hole.
Yep.
And just because you just don't feel like listening, well, again, those are some expensive balls.
Yes.
So if you want to,
or fallopian tubes.
Or fallopian tubes, those two, just as important. So, and there's along with that too, there are guarantees in different contracts. So some breeds are actually just genetically predisposed to certain health conditions, such as, hip dysplasia, it can be heart problems, eye problems, any variety of, genetic health conditions. Some breeders will cover all of it. Some of them are a little bit more specific about which ones, depending on the breed, I believe. With Cane Corsos, it can be elbows and hips, right? Is that right?
It can be elbows, shoulders, hips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And and there is also, there can be clauses on the time frames of your pet having hip dysplasia and things like that.
Well, I do think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and some of them even, there's a time frame on taking your dog to the vet after you get them as well.
That's, well, I know a lot of times they give you a 3-day window to have your dog checked. If you do not follow through on that, it can also void the contract, the health guarantees.
Okay.
So, again, read your contract, make sure that if you know when you're going to get that puppy, then go ahead and schedule their, first exam ahead of time, so you can get them right in and stay within the requirements of the contract.
Yeah. Well, and ask, if you're unclear about something in the contract, ask your breeder. Mm-hmm. They can clarify it for you.
Right.
You don't know.
Yep. Always ask questions. And there again, that goes back to having good rapport with your breeder, asking questions of them and them asking you questions. On the health guarantees, the one thing I would say is that a lot of them will say, 2-year guarantee on hips. And the thing is you can't just grab a dog, x-ray their hips and say, this dog's bad, or this dog's good. Mm-hmm. You need data. You need background on history of their genetic traits.
Which can go, that's quite a ways, isn't it?
It's generally, just in my talking to different breeders, I've talked to several breeders, typically I get 8 generations.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Of data.
Yeah.
Is what's required. Because you can have a dog that comes from a really healthy line with good genetic testing, and for whatever reason, they might have a bad heart
Right.
or bad hips. Sometimes that is a reflection of their care,
Right.
how they are, the surfaces they're sleeping on or the food that they're eating.
I really like too that we've shared it on our Primo Corso Facebook page, but it's an X-ray of a puppy, their bones. You don't let them go flying off of couches and
Big dogs for sure.
yeah.
Their bones are still soft. They're still developing. So if you take home an 8-week-old puppy and you play hard with it, you don't let it grow and develop healthy, you could end up with a dog that has bad joints.
Right.
So it's really tough. There again, you can't just, say, are your dogs OFA, certified? No.
No. No.
Because for one thing, Primo Corso Kennels, has been around for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And, with getting data for 8 generations, it's a fairly new facility.
Right.
And that doesn't just mean the breeding dogs. That means that any breeder needs the cooperation of the buyers.
Sure.
To do genetic testing, to have joints checked and certified. And they need data from puppies sold to really fill in all the blanks to whether these dogs are in, amazing genetic condition.
Right.
And it's hard to just, I don't think people realize that the amount of information you need to come up with that information is just amazing. And the way I've always explained it to people is that having hips checked is just one piece of a very large puzzle.
Yeah.
And what some breeders, probably newer breeders, I would say, do is they look at the history of the puppies sold as far as people contacting them and saying, oh, my dog is limping, or, my dog is doing this, my dog can't see, my dog can't, whatever is going on. And as far as Primo Corso Kennels puppies all go, there's been only one in this amount of time that has been told that it has any kind of problem.
Well, and that too, I do know, I have a friend and he had gotten, I believe it was a pit bull, and ended up with some back end problems. And, it was a legitimate breeder and, everything was fine. But the puppy had actually gotten injured, which it wasn't hip dysplasia, but it was... So I can't remember what the issue was, but there was an injury when the dog was a puppy, and it just caused bad back end problems, whatever that was. And I don't really know how hard that dog played. So that's not saying that dog was genetically predisposed to that kind of health issue, but an injury could have definitely caused these health issues later on. And, the dog's fine, happy and all of that stuff, but a little bit less spunky than... So...
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to try not to get too far off track because I know we're talking about breeding and all that. But, I talk about Tucker and Cody. Excuse me. I almost called him Travis. I get my names all mixed up. I got too many names to remember. I just can't even keep them straight. It's true. But Cody and Tucker. Cody's my youngest. Your little brother.
Yes.
And he has had Tucker, who is a pit bull mix.
Yes.
And this dog, I'm telling you, he is, 12 years old, I think, 11 years old. But this crazy dog, you just can't even believe the stuff he did when he was younger. He would jump out second story windows. He had separation issues, wanted to be with Cody all the time.
Yeah.
And he jumped out windows. he's crazy.
Yeah.
That dog would not stay contained. He was out first story windows, second story windows. He's on top of a porch roof.
Yeah, he didn't care.
He was just nuts. And as an older dog, he is still healthy, but much slower.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he's been kind of rambunctious in his younger years, and he moves a little slower than he did. He still looks really good, but
very happy.
You can tell he's not as quick as he used to be. So
yeah, those rainy days are a little achy.
Yeah, so it's those younger years can take a toll on a dog when they get older.
They sure can.
But yeah, so it's just really hard. We have the 2-year guarantee on hips.
Yes.
I've never had anyone complain on anything going on with these puppies.
No.
They seem to be really, we've got excellent breeding dogs. Mm-hmm. And it's gone so well with everybody being healthy. We've had a couple accidents where, dogs that we've sold have died. Mm. But nothing that actually pertains to the genetic background of the dogs. And I think we're both really proud of that.
Yeah, and
they're so healthy.
And on top of that, they look amazing. Let me just say that.
Good looking dogs.
Yeah.
But so I think when you're looking at what the breeders will offer for health guarantees, you need to keep in mind, how many generations they have, and do they have the cooperation of other buyers to give you the data that they need to generate any kind of genetic history.
Right. Well, and it's like you said, Primo Corso kennels, amazing dogs. Super healthy. And this Zeus, I got to tell you, I can't wait to see what this litter here is. I know it's a little off topic, but it's a second Zeus litter, and he adds a little something extra to these puppies. So
he does. Well, there's a little black female that, she was out for seconds and she was growling and barking.
Yeah, she
couldn't find a nipple.
Came out talking.
So, and she is the most vocal of the puppies, so it's like, wow.
Oh my goodness, she's gonna be fun.
The others don't really make that much noise, but she couldn't find Karma, the mom, and she started doing this whiny barking thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, she has got something to say.
Yeah, strong lungs.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see how she gets on here as she gets a little older and bigger. But they are very cute.
It's I can't take it. That one, I could hear that one on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, that one, that was so cute. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of things that you really want to keep in mind with all of the different, again, I just can't stress enough. Read your contract.
Yes.
Read the contract. Ask your breeder questions if you aren't sure.
And listen to what they're saying when they're talking about the health guarantees, because there is more to it than did you get the hips x-rayed.
Right.
It's a wide range, and, find out how long the breeder's been doing that type of work, and kind of go from there. But, don't just get on I got to be honest, this bad breeder scammer website, or group, I should say, really irritates me.
Yeah.
Because they kind of have a tendency to stereotype. Yeah. Instead of, they're just saying, oh, this person is bad. This person asked for a deposit. This person did this. Okay. And then what?
Right.
What else? What other information can you say about them, instead of just, because I don't know a breeder. Obviously I don't know them all, but I don't know a breeder that doesn't ask for a deposit.
That is normal.
Yes.
If people are saying it's a red flag for somebody to ask for a deposit, that's not correct.
Right.
It's not.
Yes.
Some people might be lying to you, but a legitimate breeder is going to ask you for a deposit.
There was, I talked to a lady, I felt so bad for them. They were from Iowa.
Yeah.
And they had made a deposit. I don't know if they paid fully for the puppy or if it was just the deposit. I feel like it was fully paid for, and it was a dog that her family desperately wanted, her children, and she had like, I don't know, 3 kids, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they drove up to an address in St. Paul, Minnesota to get the puppy, and it was a valid address.
Oh my gosh.
So they had,
oh, wait.
Yeah, you remember the story. And, you know, the little girl was just devastated because, you know, here they were all excited. They drove a couple 200-300 miles to come and get this puppy, and not a real address.
Yeah.
So they found, while they were up in Minneapolis, they found an alternate breeder and were able to get a puppy, but they were out the money.
Right.
So, really, there are scammers out there, and it makes it so hard for everybody. So I'm not saying don't be careful,
right,
of that type of thing. But I am saying don't just group all breeders in a bad group because there's one thing that you maybe don't like. You know, talk to them, get to know them, do some research. You know, see what. I mean, even if you look at a Facebook page for any breeder, if there is a history of many dogs, many articles, many, who knows what, but if there is a lengthy Facebook page where they have a lot of information going back to different not breeds, but different litters, I mean, that is a telltale sign that they have a history.
Exactly.
That they are valid.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't just take one thing said on a group and say, oh, they're bad, I'm not dealing with them. Make sure that, you know, some of the pictures, you know, there's another gal that told me it was Frenchies, actually, she was looking at.
Yeah.
And she said, I thought it was funny. This breeder was supposed to be somewhere up north here.
Okay.
And she was interested in a Frenchie. And this individual said that they did have a Frenchie and they would send him a current picture.
Ah, okay.
Keyword being current.
Yes.
And so they sent her a picture of a little Frenchie, and there was grass and flowers in the background, and it was winter.
Well, that doesn't sound current, but I mean,
she said, you know, at first she was thinking, oh, what a cute puppy, I love it. And she said all of a sudden it really hit her that, you know, it really couldn't be now because where'd the grass and flowers come from? It's January.
Right. I don't see that anywhere.
So, you know, those are things you might want to pay attention to. But, you know, just make sure you're not grouping good breeders with the bad ones because of one thing. I think you got to look at the whole picture and do the research, check them out, see what you can find out.
Well, and, you know, you might not like all the questions that you get from a breeder, but it's in the best interest of everybody.
Okay. And make sure to read your contracts.
Yes.
I think, you know, even if you have repeat, I don't know. I struggle with repeat buyers because it makes it hard for a breeder to want to sell them another puppy when you know they are, you know, clearly just not going by the contract for the previous purchase.
Right.
That makes it really hard.
And with that, you know, do we need to just go through and highlight things for...
Well, that's an idea.
You know.
I mean, that's something that you might consider because that's...
You know, if they're not doing it, maybe they just need a little help finding that in the contract.
Well, you know, I saw a contract for a breeder I will not name. And it was funny because it sounded like a legal document, like written by an attorney.
Ah.
And it was so legal, I almost was not, you know, that lawyer jargon.
Oh, I don't get it.
It's kind of wordy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't like reading it because it's not, in my mind, it seems a little unclear.
Yeah.
And so I was reading it and I was like, whoa, what is this? And I read through the whole contract and I looked at this, it was a couple that were selling these dogs. And I looked at them and I said, this kind of looks like it was written by an attorney.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't say it was, but they said, well, we have to watch our liabilities. And that's all they said.
So, yeah.
But to me, that was saying yes.
Right.
They had an attorney write it up.
Yep.
So, you really need to make sure that when you're signing these contracts that you are going to follow up on your end. Because, well, and I kind of am kind of happy that I heard you say that they get fined.
Some people put fines in there, yeah.
I mean,
hey, you don't want to follow the rules, you're going to pay for it.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I think that's, it's very frustrating for people and I guarantee you, those people that are not following the contract.
Yep.
If at 8 months they have a dog with some health issue, I guarantee you they'll be trying to come back on the breeder.
Oh, yeah.
It's for them, it's all about what they're going to do and what they're going to have.
Right.
And no regard to the responsible end of it.
You're signing a legal contract. You don't have to like it. But, again, it's like you said, if you don't like it, find someone with less of a contract, I guess.
Backyard breeder,
yeah,
I don't know.
Something.
But it does break that trust between the breeder and the buyer because, you have a contract, but you're also selling a living being on good faith.
Yeah.
And it is disturbing to know that they can disregard that and do what they think they want.
Well, what else are they doing,
Yeah.
I mean...
So, I'm not saying all people who don't follow the rules are bad.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but it definitely puts a glitch in the trust level for the breeder.
Right. You want to be able to trust your breeder. Well, same goes for the breeder to the customer, the person buying the puppy.
Exactly.
So, it's a mutual respect thing.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it is the way it is because there is a lot of back and forth on that, and it makes it difficult for everybody involved.
Right.
So, and everybody's just trying to get a good pet and,
Nice addition to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we just wanted to take some time to kind of clarify some of the things that breeders do and, caution people that when you're on these groups, that you don't just take one instance, one little thing that doesn't really agree with you and decide they're bad breeders.
Right.
And no less to put it on a post in in social media that they're bad because that is not really accurate.
You could be ruining somebody's business and for no reason.
Right.
So think long and hard.
Social media can be good and can be bad. So,
yeah.
If I heard, was thinking, I'm going to buy a dog from these people and something about them didn't feel right, I would probably keep that in my mind.
Right.
And be aware that was something that bothered me. But I would kind of look for the bigger picture and see where they were at with things.
Yeah.
And there might be a really good reason,
There might.
For you and I, we don't want people handling the puppies till they've had their vaccinations at 6 weeks.
Yep.
That's for the puppy's health.
Exactly.
And for our dog's health.
We want healthy, happy animals, and just letting anybody come over whenever they want it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I think both of us, and I'll speak for both of us, we both have multiple dogs. We both have large multiple dogs.
Yep.
And that is also for, initially that was for our protection.
Right.
For, security.
Exactly.
And I think we both feel better with having the big dogs around. So maybe we don't want to socialize those dogs with just anybody that comes down the driveway.
Well, exactly. My dogs aren't.
Right.
I mean...
I have some dogs that are, socialized and we can go out in public and they're fine with. Elsa's wonderful with pretty much everything.
Enzo's pretty great.
Yeah. And Yazzie's awesome. So, I mean, I think we both have that, end of it. But also, we like to have the safety of having the large dogs around.
Yeah. I'm clumsy enough. I don't need a gun in my house. Okay. So,
Yeah.
this is better for everybody.
Talk about shooting yourself in the foot.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah, I mean, there's reasons people breeders do what they do, and I think you just have to, if you have to sit down and make a list, write it down,
Yeah.
make sure you think of all the questions you possibly can and talk to that person.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
we also like when we get follow-up pictures from our puppies going
That
to
is
homes.
great.
And it's great to see how they're turning out and the life that they live. That's a lot of the posts on the Facebook page is, puppies that have gone to homes, and we think it's great.
Oh man, they got some good lives out there. One of them goes kayaking and camping, and another one goes hunting and camping and cuddling. I mean, oh man, that is.
Well, Barrett, I don't know if you saw it on the Facebook page, but they had a picture of him blown up.
Oh yeah,
and it's hanging over their stairway. And
yeah.
They told me that the reason they picked that picture is because he had eaten some chalk and he had blue on his mouth.
Yeah.
And it matched their living room.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? I can't think of a better decoration. A giant blue tongue.
So he is a masterpiece.
He is.
Barrett's a masterpiece.
He's wonderful. Sweet dog, too.
Yeah.
He was very sweet.
But, so, as always, and two, I guess you could talk to your vet if you're looking for a dog to replace an old dog that has passed, or vets they know everybody.
They have a ton of information too.
Yeah.
So
do your research, talk to your vets, trainers, anybody that can give you information, get referrals for breeders.
Yeah.
We always hope that people who have dealt with Tori and I are comfortable enough that they refer people to us.
Yeah.
And we can, talk to them about what we have available or do not have available.
We love finding happy homes for these guys. So
that it's important to do your research. I think honestly, the thing I really like when I'm actually buying anything is to hear what other people think of them.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, it gives you a good idea of what to expect, no matter what it is.
And as soon as that came out of my mouth, I thought, I might not get too many referrals. I got kind of a big mouth.
Now, people like you though.
Well,
it's
not the ones I have something.
Only
to say.
the strong survive though. Okay, we said that. Not for the weak of heart. Okay,
I'm a bit of a handful. Anyhow, do your research. I think getting personal referrals are great.
Yeah,
people who have dealt with other breeders, and I'm not just talking about the Connie Corso. I'm talking about any breed of dog.
Right.
You want to have really good references for that too.
You do. So. Well. And again, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and email us at realtalkdogtalk@yahoo.com or comment, and don't forget to hit that follow button.
Follow.
Do it.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you will be here for our next episode.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.